Hey guys, I'm Lewis. I've been watching a few other YouTubers make videos on their investment portfolios with apps like Freetrade and Robinhood in America, and thought I'd make something similar myself. If you've not heard of Robinhood or Freetrade, they're basically apps that let you invest in shares in the stock market, and they're modern mobile apps that have like clean, nice interfaces like the one you can see on the screen. This one in particular is Freetrade, the UK-based app. It's just a nice new way of investing, and it's friendly for beginners like me. As you can see, it's got a nice interface, loads of different shares you can buy. They have, I think, around 300 in total, and we'll be adding a lot more soon. So I just thought I'd run through what I've invested in so far and share my thoughts on the stocks I've invested in, and let you follow me on my journey through my investments. So I'll start from the top of the list. The S&P 500 is an index that tracks the 500 largest US stocks, and this one in particular is managed by Vanguard. And as this is the biggest 500 companies in America, I wanted to start off with something fairly safe, but something that would keep growing. So if you look at the time period of the maximum it goes, you can see that in general this one goes upwards pretty much all the time, apart from a few drops like today, for example. But I think that's due to some other factors like the China and US trade war that's going on at the moment, with Trump saying a few different things. So yeah, I think this one should be a good long-term investment. If we then look at the next one, I decided to invest in Tesla. I think this one's a bit riskier, but I think Tesla's got a good product and will be leading the way, hopefully, with the electric cars in the future. If you look at the max time frame again, you can see it does go up and down quite a bit, but I think long term, hopefully, they'll be sort of like the leaders in the electric car world. The next one on my list is Apple. Again, no real reasoning behind this, but they're one of the biggest companies again in the world, so I thought it'd be a fairly safe investment. And obviously use their products as well, so I thought it'd be a good place to start. And all of their fans are pretty loyal and keep buying the iPhones every year, and Macs as well, and things like the HomePod, AirPods, and Apple Watches. So I think they could keep growing in the future. The next one on my list is Bristol Myers Squibb. I didn't know anything about these people before, but they look like a big pharmaceutical company in America. I did some research on them, and they have a good sort of past performance and good financial health. All their debts are covered by their short-term investments in cash, and they pay a dividend as well. And also, during my research, found that one of their directors also recently bought around $500,000 worth of shares, which is generally a good sign as well. If they're buying them, then I don't see why it would be a bad idea for me to. Next up is Square. So although this one's dropped again, I think that's due to the US-China trade war. Square is a sort of point of sale system, as it says at the top, and I think they've got good long-term future potential, hopefully to sort of spread into more markets and gain a bigger market share. So I think hopefully they'll keep growing. And I might buy a few more of those as they're currently a bit down. Next up is SSE. This one's an English company, so I can't blame that on the trade war, but this one potentially has dropped a bit due to Brexit. They also pay a dividend, so I think that will pay back some of the cost of it dropping, and hopefully it'll keep growing in the future. As you can see, it's a bit up and down. It's quite high right now, so if it drops a bit more, I think I might invest a bit more in this one. Next up is Taylor Wimpey. So in the UK right now, there's a lot of houses being built, so I thought this one could be a good investment. They pay a good dividend, and also don't really have many debts compared to their assets and cash as well. So although they're down right now, I think they will keep growing in the future when everything with Brexit's over with. I've got 62 shares in them and are losing money right now, but I'll hold it and wait out for it to grow, I think. The next one on my list is Baidu. I don't really know too much about the company, but from what I've found online, it looks like they've got good future prospects and a fairly good health right now. And as it says at the top of the listing here, they're sort of like the Chinese Google, and Chinese companies are growing quite a bit. So I thought this could be a good long-term investment as well. And it looks fairly cheap right now, and a lot of people are saying it's undervalued. So I'm hoping it bounces back up to sort of where the top of this graph is, and it's a temporary little dip. Might be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Next in my list is Legal and General. Again, it's down, but I think the company's fairly good all rounder. They pay a good dividend, so I'm going to wait this one out and hopefully it'll bounce back in the future. Next on my list, probably my best performer. It's one of the only ones that's positive right now, is Vodafone. This one was sort of more lucky than anything. I initially invested in it because of 5G coming up soon, but this one had some news recently where they're going to spin off a cell tower business, and that shot the shares up around 20%. So I was quite lucky with that one. Didn't really do too much research, but yeah, I'm glad I invested in that. And then a bit further down, these are sort of becoming a bit more random. So the gym group I just bought because it's a company that I use personally, and they were doing fairly well in the last sort of month, but that's dropped recently as everything else has. BT I bought and have lost quite a bit on because they own EE, and I was thinking with 5G again, EE might be one of the forefront runners with that technology, but that's not been going too well so far. But I don't want to sell it at a loss, so I think I'll wait it out and hopefully BT comes back. And now the ones below here was just a bit more random. So Dropbox is just a online file storage company, and I'm quite into the tech company, so I thought that could be a good investment, but that one's dropped. So I have to see what happens with Dropbox. And then from here, Diageo actually got as a free share, from Freetrade for referring someone. I've not done too much sort of investing in past, but I did invest in Freetrade's crowdfunding round, which they did. I think they did one fairly recently and then one a few months ago, which is the one that I invested in. And as an investor, they trial some new features with you, and one of those was a free pass, which when you refer someone, they give you a free share, and the person you referred a free share. So I referred someone and got the Diageo share from that. And the same with some of these below. So Ted Baker, Domino's and Stagecoach were all from referrals, and I've got a few more lined up that will hopefully be processed soon. And I'll also put a link in the description if I have any spare if you're interested in using Freetrade. And then BA Tobacco was just one that I invested in because I was thinking that like the cannabis market might start growing and BA Tobacco could be part of that, but that's again not doing too well because of the economy and Brexit and all that right now. But I think I'll hold on to that if the cannabis market starts growing and British American tobacco get in on that. And then finally, Sirius Minerals. I didn't really do any research into this one at all, and that was obviously a mistake. I just saw some people talking about it online and thought it could be a risky investment that might pay off, but some news broke, I think, yesterday or today, and the market wasn't very happy with that, so these shares have dropped 28%. Yeah, so overall, I'm actually down. I put £1,500 in. If you look in the activity section, you can see I started off there with £50 and sort of slowly added more and more things in as I was becoming more confident. And just when I invested the £1,000 there, I was up, I think, around £25. But as the news of the Trump stuff and the Brexit things happening recently, I'm now down a bit. But luckily, because of the free shares you can see here, I'm not too down, but I'm going to hold it out and hopefully be more profitable in the future. Yeah, so thanks for watching. If you have any feedback or if I've explained anything wrong, sorry about that. I'm a new investor, but if you'd like to see more videos, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks.